Hey everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and this is just going to be a quick, simple video to show you guys how to zero in your optics with only 2 shots. Now, this is probably the easiest way to zero an optic, and it doesn't matter whether it's a magnified optic or a non-magnified optic like a red dot. Both can be done the exact same way, but it doesn't require you to have something. It requires a stable shooting platform, preferably a gun vise. If you don't have a gun vise, maybe you have a gun or rifle rest that you can somehow strap your rifle to using maybe a bandana or even zip ties to get the most stable shooting platform possible. This can also be done if you use a bipod. Okay, so let me explain how this works real quick because it is very easy. Now, this is dependent on whether or not you're going to hit paper on your first shot. That is very important. If you are so far off that you're not even hitting the target with your first shot, it's going to take more shots to get on paper and then begin this process. However, if you're using a large target like this and your first shot is at least somewhere on this paper, you will be able to do this in just a couple shots. Now I'm going to show you how this works real easy. What you want to do is when you set up your firearm with your optic, you want to make sure that your point of aim, so where your reticle is pointing, is dead center to that target. So that's going to be your point of aim. It doesn't matter if it's a red dot or a magnified optic. You want it right here, dead center. Now once you have your firearm secure, you're sure that it's a stable shooting platform, you want to then take your first shot. Okay, so now that you've taken your first shot, you want to check where your point of impact was. Remember, this is our point of aim, and then let's say our point of impact is, let's just make it nice and simple, our point of impact is down here, okay? So we know that right now the rifle, or the optic at least, the optic is pointed right here, but the rifle is landing rounds right here. So now we want to obviously bring this up to our optic, right? When in reality, that's not exactly how it works. We actually want to bring this down to our bullet. So we want our point of aim and our point of impact to meet up. Now, in order to make sure that there wasn't some type of fluke, that you didn't pull around, or some type of event that caused the bullet to leave from its normal trajectory, you want to take a second shot. So now let's say your second shot, you take it, and bam, you're grouping pretty much the same exact spot, right? You know that this is exactly where your point of impact is versus your point of aim because you have a small enough group right here. Now, obviously, if you take your second shot and it lands way outside your original point of impact, now we have a little bit more of a problem, and it can get a little bit more complicated because you don't know whether or not there was, some type of condition that caused this to be out of whack. But generally speaking, you're gonna group, if you're pointing at the same exact spot, you're gonna group in the same spot where you originally had your point of impact. So now here's the part where it gets easy because I know I'm kind of over explaining this. It is very simplified, and I will oversimplify it at the end of the video. Make sure now that you take your reticle and you make sure that it's placed exactly where it was prior at your point of aim, which is the center of our target. This is where a gun vise or some type of gun rest comes in handy because this is where you want to make sure that the rifle itself does not move. If the rifle moves, then you'll have to start all over again. What you want to do, instead of making small adjustments and saying, okay, I'm 2 or 3 MOA off of the center of the target and I need to adjust my scope likewise. No, all you need to do is then take your optic and adjust the sights while your rifle is stable. Remember, that's the important part. While your rifle or whatever you're using is stable, and adjust while you're looking through the optic. Make your adjustments while you're looking through the optic and bring that reticle to your point of impact. If you take that reticle without moving the rifle and you move it to your point of impact, you now have A and B together. So let's say that your point of impact is B, your point of aim was A. These are now 2 in the same spot. Now what you can do is you can take your rifle, and if it's in a vise, undo that. If it's somehow locked down in some other type of way, unlock it. Now what you're going to want to do, bring your reticle back up to the original point of aim. What you've done is you've aligned these 2 down here by making your movements, and then you've brought it back up to the center, your point of aim. Now when you take your shots, your point of impact and point of aim have now adjusted back up to your original spot, okay, your original point of aim. So that's basically how easy it is. Now, remember, you have to be on paper for this to work. You have to have a stable shooting platform for it to work. But 2 shots, assuming that they group together, and this whole system works extremely easy. So now I'm going to oversimplify it. I'm not going to over-explain it. And let me tell you this works. Point of aim, point of impact. Move the reticle to your point of impact. Once you have that, lock it down, move it back up to your point of aim. Simple as that. You're zeroed in, you're good to go. Take a few shots. Afterwards, you can just take, 3, 4, 5 shots, see how your grouping does near your new point of aim, and you will see that you have a very easy way to zero your optic. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.